interesting question to unpack. That was Zuma totally defeated or not? His expression there, I think Nicholas Bauer did a fantastic thing, you're capturing that particular moment, right? But the question remains that we know he's been defeated to this point, that Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma did not become the president of the ANC. And that has been his preference, and he's been the architect-in-chief behind that. But how much of a defeat is it really for Zuma? So let's do a bit of analysis. Let's look at the negatives and let's look at the positives from a Zuma perspective. The first and primary negative is his desired candidate is not president. And the office of the president of the ANC and later on the office of the president of the republic is a very powerful position, like Zuma himself has demonstrated, right? There's a lot of kind of power that goes with it. Secondly, as soon as he steps down as ANC president, even before these results were announced, you can see the power evaporating. Baleka Mbete and others taking cheap shots at him from the stage. He's no longer the go-to person. He's no longer the central person. The third thing that you need to understand is what I alluded to earlier on, is that it's no longer a Zuma faction. It may be a Premier League faction, it may be a Didi Mabuza faction, but it's not a Zuma faction. A big problem that Zuma has going forward is that the future president of the country sits in his cabinet as his deputy president. Unlike Polokwane, Mbeki didn't have this problem. When Zuma beat Mbeki in Polokwane, Zuma was not in the cabinet. He had been fired prior to that, right? So he was at Lituli House, and Mbeki was still on his own. Now imagine a cabinet meeting where Zuma is the president of the republic, but the president of the party and the president of the republic in waiting is sitting there. Automatically Zuma is very constrained. Now all Zuma's supporters at provincial level and then also in his cabinet, they are now going to start looking out for their own future, right? So imagine a cabinet meeting. Even very loyal Zuma ministers are going to say, hey, we can't do everything he wants. We need to start keeping the new boss happy because we want to retain a cabinet position come 2019. So now the patronage sits with Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa now is in the position of dispensing patronage. But then on the positive side, if Ramaphosa had won with his entire slate, then we could say it was a total defeat for Zuma. We have to look at the NEC and see what happens. If it is an overwhelming victory in terms of the 80 people that come in the NEC for Ramaphosa, then we can say Zuma has been totally defeated. But I don't think it's going to go that way. The top six is split, and the NEC is likely to be split. So it is a partial defeat for Zuma. Why? Because the recall option now becomes very, very difficult. They need to do it, but it's going to be difficult to generate consensus. Because the interests of the Guptas, for example, lie in Zuma continuing up to 2019. And the Guptas have these links to Ace and Jesse and Didi. So in a top six meeting, Ramaphosa is not going to get consensus about recalling Zuma. In an NEC meeting, they're not going to be able to get consensus. If he goes, he'll go on his own terms. They're not going to be able to force him to be recalled or to force him to resign. And what's going to happen then is that it gives Zuma it gives him this bit of a cushion in terms of the recall and in terms of persecution going forward. Because now Ramaphosa needs the Zuma faction. The Zuma faction still exists, or that faction still exists within the top six and within the ANC, or the NEC rather. So it has been a partial defeat for Zuma, which is something unheard of in South African politics, because he hasn't suffered really a significant political setback, since he was fired by Mbeki back in 2005. But at the same time, he's far from down and out. Remember, Zuma, unlike Mbeki in 2007, could still stand on the stage and sing. Mbeki was heckled and he was being really pushed by the crowd. Zuma still has a significant degree of support within the crowd. You could see it when he was singing, and he went out singing Mshini Wam. This is a man who's not going to go without a fight. And a split slate like that, or a split top six and a split NEC, ensures that his defeat has only been partial.